Hey everyone, this is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row. Thanks so much for listening to the following broadcast, courtesy of Public House Media.
Hi, this is Emily.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Elizabeth,
co-hosts of Beauties and Headcanons here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Once you are done with this episode, we hope you'll come check out our show, Beauties and Headcanons, where we talk nerdy to you about fandoms, fan fiction, and all pop culture for nerds that you can think of. A new show comes out every Friday.
Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Beauties and Headcanons. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Settle yourself in solitude, and you will come upon him in yourself. Teresa of Avila. Welcome to Choose to Rise. Welcome to Public House Media. Today, we're going to talk about finding solitude and how to build a habit of solitude in your life. This quote from Teresa of Avila, I think I'm saying that right. Settle yourself in solitude, and you will come upon him in yourself. I heard that in a sermon recently, and it kind of struck me. I thought, I need to do a podcast on building solitude in your heart and in your mind, because when we first find solitude, it's scary to us. We live in such a world of running around, being in a rat race, constantly on the go, filling all quiet time with something, and we feel so uncomfortable in the quiet that so many times we lose who we are, we lose ourselves, we get caught up in what other people's expectations are, and we lose what we need to be focused on the most. And that's the quiet time with him and listening to him speak to us. And so whatever your faith base might be, mine is that there is a God above us that watches out for us, that created us for more, that created us to live a life of purpose, and that he's created us all for us an individual purpose. And so the more we can get quiet in our life, the more quiet time we can get for ourselves is the more that we're going to get to know him. And the more we get to know him is the better we get to know us. And we get to figure out what that purpose is and live life well. So many people struggle with solitude. So many people are so plugged in all the time that it's just killing them. And so I want to help you today find some solitude in your life. I want to help encourage you and support you in living a better life and rising up out of your current situation and living your best life. So today, let's focus in on how we can reconnect to our deepest desires and purpose in order to do great work. And a lot of research out there, a lot of studies out there have shown that a lack of solitude leads to higher anxiety, higher depression, and neediness. No time to mentally process situations or emotions. Your mental health starts to suffer when we seek out outlets of destructive behavior because we just don't have time to think about ourselves. We also get super conformed. If you've never taken the time to discover your wants and beliefs, you automatically adopt them of the people around you. People who lack solitude have higher risk of heart attacks and other health problems. Constant activity keeps your body in full stress hormone, cortisol, all the time. And it's what kills people at the age of 40 constantly. So if you're close to that point or you want to get past that point, let's find some time for solitude in our life. Not having solitude in your life also creates a lack of creativity. And studies show that those who can't bear to be alone stop enhancing their creative talents. In an economy of increasing automation, creativity will be the one thing that sets you apart from everyone else. And it's what creates you, what you've been created to do, right? We've all been created as unique individuals. And when we start to conform, when we start to, increase our anxiety and we start to lack our own creativity, that's when we are really kind of dissing on God for making us as perfect individuals. The only quiet reflection of solitude allows our heart's desires to be heard and our heart to be the true source of wisdom and joy. Letting it lead is the path to great results. And I want today to help you find that solitude. I want to help you build a habit of solitude and to help you learn how to get out of the chaos and start to focus in on who God made you to be to help you live your absolute best life. So the first and foremost thing is that I have a quote here by Mahatma Gandhi, and he says, solitude is a catalyst for innovation. And so one of the first things that you can do is to get up early. Or maybe it's you're getting up late or you're staying up late, or whatever it might be. But for me, getting up early has been the best thing for the solitude time. I've been starting my early rising soapbox for quite a long time, but don't expect me to come down from it anytime soon. You can't imagine the beauty found in the early morning hours until you've really locked it in as a habit. It takes weeks of consistent trial and error. It takes time to really make yourself a morning person, especially when I feel like I've been created as a night owl. However, those first few hours of your day, and when you can make them in solitude and you can think clearly and hear the messages deepest from your core, that's who you really are. And that's the best time of the day, before the phones and the emails, before other humans start making noises, before your mind starts the chit-chattering of all the things that on your to-do list. Finding those quiet moments where you can connect with your gratefulness of who you are, connect with God who's ready to design your day, and to really move forward in a positive way. Getting up early is where it's at. The second thing I have for you is to run, walk, or bike. Get active, move, get your body moving at its best. Physical exercise is solitude's best buddy. When you strap on your shoes or you climb on a bike or you push play on a workout, if you leave your heart and mind wherever it is that you need to connect, a pastor that was talking about the solitude concept in a sermon the other day was talking about how he gets out into nature. He straps on his tennis shoes and he goes running through the woods, or he goes out on a nature trail somewhere. Getting out of the headphones and just listening to God in the moment and really listening to your thoughts, and instead of a podcast or instead of something like that. I'm super guilty of this. When I push play on a workout, I'm engaged in the words of the speaker. When I go out on a walk, I am engaged in some sort of personal development. But my quiet time with God is when I'm sitting alone in my office with my affirmations and my Bible and really listening in. But I would also encourage you to get outside and get active and listen to the heart and mind of who God's creating you to be while you're moving. And so get out into nature if possible, skip the treadmill or the stationary bike and get outside and experience God out there. The third thing that you can do is to daydream. Albert Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. And it's not just for kids. Scientists now agree that daydreaming is a normal and positive brain function. It's when our mind wanders. It's when that creativity really comes into play. It's really doing a tremendous amount of creativity mindset is imagining what's possible. Daydreaming will take us away from the task at hand, but while we're in this state, our brain is working on our goals. It allows our subconscious the seat of much more of our wisdom, hopes, dreams, and drives to be heard. And on the other hand, hyperfocus can prevent us from generating fresh solutions and ideas all the time. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you just don't have anything new going on in your life, I would encourage you to sit back and just let your mind wander and see where it goes. You might be so focused in on a specific goal that somebody else gave you that you're missing out on something that is inside of you and that is really where your purpose is to be. A 2012 study showed that people who took a break from hyper-focused work were better at solving demanding problems. 41% better, in fact. And so who doesn't want to be better at solving problems? Who doesn't want to be better at figuring things out and learning how to overcome the obstacles in their life? I know I would. And so if you are feeling stuck, I would say step back from the moment, step back from what's going on, and really look at how your mind can wander and go from there. The next thing I have for you is to drive alone. This one is sometimes hard, but if you're a competent driver, you're experiencing getting into your car and ending up at your destination with no memory of the journey. In that solitude, your mind went somewhere else. Your mind went to wherever it was wandering to get out of the space that you were in. Complicated driving requires the higher executive functions of your brain, so your attention goes to other places. But monotonous routes, the task is punted away from your brain frontal lobe, and it will just happens. But along the drive, you can do some great thinking. Highway driving is especially monotonous and the perfect place to find solitude. And you can, use that time to get into a great book. You can use that time to just get into your mind and think about whatever it is that you want to think about. And really taking those road trips sometimes can be the best thing for yourself. So maximize the time that you have in your commute. Think about all the things that you could think about during that time. And maybe you have a short commute, so you find a different time. But that could be a time in your day that you take advantage of. Another thing is make a reservation for one. If you go to a restaurant by yourself, it can feel super awkward at first. But if you go by yourself, you really only have one person to think about. You have only one person to talk to. And it's actually kind of a version of self-care. And the next day, you're going to feel refreshed and you're going to be able to do your best work because you did something for you, and that you can get out and just, use your own thoughts. Kind of a forced way of getting undistracted. Maybe you leave your phone at home so you can't just sit at the table and scroll social media or be plugged into something else. But doing those kinds of things, whether it's going to a restaurant by yourself, going to a movie by yourself, going on a walk by yourself, doing something by yourself in solitude is where you're going to be able to encourage and be supported in that way. Now, the last thing I have for you is just to kind of go out and be yourself, be amazing, be encouraged, be supported, and carve out some of that quiet time for yourself and live the life that you're designed to live, and think about the things that, that God puts there, and that you can really find those things by having solitude in your life. Carve out the quiet time for yourself, and your heart will tell you everything that you need to know. And when you stop being so busy and you stop really filling up your day with all of the little details and bragging about all the things that keep us busy, most of the activity is the fruitless behavior of our life. And that it's just taking up all the time and creating real short lives for us. So carve out some quiet time, carve out some time for yourself, and really listen to what God has designed for you so that you can go out and be great, and that you can go out and live a life of purpose and joy and accomplishment. I hope today that you find something that helps you find some solitude in your heart and mind. I hope that you find a way to calm your heart, calm your anxiety, calm your depression, calm the things that are stirring you up and creating all of that negative energy in your life, and that you find some peace in the quiet. You find some peace in the direction that God's wanting you to go in, and that you feel encouraged and lifted up. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're getting this podcast at so you don't ever miss a show. Leave us a rating, review, and tell others about Choose to Rise. It warms my heart to see people take a screenshot and upload it to their Instagram or their Facebook, or just sharing the link with someone that they know. And it helps other people find it, as well as helps me know what podcasts you absolutely love. So again, thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you back here next time.